One of the new offensive additions to NCAA 13 is the Army Playbook's Wingbone scheme. Now, the Wingbone is really just a hybrid between your traditional flexbone offense and your traditional wishbone offense. As you can see here in the flexbone, you have two wingbacks, one generic fullback behind the quarterback. And in the wishbone, you have the fullback with two tailbacks split out at 45-degree angles behind the fullback, and they're in real tight. But when you look at the wingbone, it's actually a hybrid of the two. You have one wingback, a true fullback behind the quarterback, and then another tailback split out at a 45-degree angle on the opposite side of the wingback. And what makes this such a difficult formation to defend is that you have the power running type of scheme of a wishbone with the deceptive mixed direction type of options out of a flexbone formation all in one package. And one of my favorite formations, well, I actually have two of them in this Army playbook to run the ball out of, is the twins over and the trips over. First, we're going to take a look at the twins over formation. And I really only like to run two plays out of it just because they work so well off of one another. One being the speed sweep and two being the counter. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw these up on the screen here for you. First, we're looking at we actually need to look at the speed sweep first. With the speed sweep, you're going to force your opponent to put most of his defense into defending the right edge. Because with the speed sweep, as you can see here, this tailback comes in auto motion and takes the handoff and tries to get to the edge. So what's going to happen is, if you get the proper blocking, you should be able to get to the edge and pick up 4, 5, or 6 yards off the edge more often than not. This is the more realistic result right here. If you just follow your blockers accordingly, you can pick up major yards against man coverage as well as zone coverage. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to force your opponent into sliding his linebackers over into this area to try to stop the run. When this happens, sometimes it's effective, sometimes it's not. But this is where the counter comes into effect. It's a simple read the box type of offense, and once you see that they've got their linebackers shifted slightly strong or to the speed sweep side, you go ahead and run the counter, which uses the same auto motion, which is imperative in any good offense, giving them the same pre-snap look, making them respect everything at the same time. And when that happens, you work this counter off of it, and you can go to both edges of the field. So running the speed sweep in combination with the counter allows you to pick up really good yards. Now, where it starts to get kind of confusing for a lot of people, being that this is a new formation in the game, is when you run the trips over. The empty side of the field now is the speed sweep side of the field rather than the counter. So if you get good blocking, you have nobody outside of the tackles. Well, rather, you have nobody outside of, hopefully, this pulling tailback to lead block for you, and hopefully you should be able to get the edge a little bit more easily. So you run this, forces them into a situation where they have their linebackers slid to the speed sweep side, and then you hit them with a simple halfback counter. So something like this. And we actually missed the block there, but as you can see, you have the edge almost totally sealed. You've got two pulling linemen. One of those two should have smoked that outside linebacker trying to get the edge, but they miscommunicate and nothing happens there. Try to give that same look again. They're loaded up on the speed sweep, and then you get this counter in on them, and you should be able to. Apparently, this is a defense that's very good against it. It doesn't appear that way to the naked eye, but see if maybe this is just a. Yes, it is. There we go. he doesn't react to it that time, and you really should, more often than not, be able to pick up major yardage off of something like this. He gets hung up inside, and you get the edge with this counter. So really it's as simple as just reading how the linebackers are aligned and running either the speed sweep or the halfback counter accordingly. If you like, there are some decent passes in this formation. I wouldn't say that it's a good passing formation, but being that it's a formation that has not been in NCAA before, it's something that's a little bit more difficult to defend and should occupy your opponent for long enough to where you can get into the other nice formations in the game, such as the flex bone stuff. The wishbone's got some nice power option and inside counter, and of course everyone likes the off tackle and the double ISO as well. And then this Army split formation is phenomenal. So this formation, or this playbook in general, is a very good one to really establish a power run game, but also keep that hybrid type of running offense with the deceptive mixed direction type style as well. So if you're that type of player in NCAA, the Army playbook is definitely one to check out with these new wingbone formations.
So take that to the lab and let me know if you have any questions, guys. Thanks.